Hello. So today's video is gonna be like a get ready with me, drag queen, cooking tutorial, makeup tutorial, mukbang kind of deal. I hope I'm like the first person to do that, but I'm probably not. And so today's video is honestly for anyone who wants to watch, but also it's part of an assignment for school where I'm gonna talk about veganism and all the parts of my life where that plays a role. And one of those places that it plays a role that I don't really think about much is skincare. And everything I have today is vegan except for one thing, because I just love it so much that I can't get rid of it. So let's start off with this product. It's the Hada Labo Gokujun Hyaluronic Acid Cleansing Foam. And I like this because it's a gentle cleanser, and also foam cleansers tend to last a really long time. So let me just start splashing my face with water. And yeah, I really like this product. It's vegan, it's a Japanese brand. I actually have a lot of Hada Labo that I'm probably gonna put in this video. It's just a really gentle foaming cleanser that really agrees with my skin. It's not too stripping, you know. I really vibe with it. Veganism in skincare is something I really, I don't really shop for ever. Most skincare nowadays really like cares about being cruelty free, so it's really not something I need to worry about. This is the Hada Labo Hyaluronic Acid. They call it like a lotion, but it's like a toner, so. But it's really like not something I care too much for. I really just care about my skincare concerns. And I really don't like the vibe of a lot of places that call themselves like cruelty-free or clean, just because there tends to be like a lot of oils in those products. Using this, the Hada Labo Hyaluronic Acid lotion is just a really moisturizing toner, especially for like, we're gonna do drag in this video, so it's kind of like an important step for me. And this right here is like a Korean rice soothing essence. This essence is like really soothing. I have another product in my skincare routine that's for calming down my inflammation. Just because I have pretty sensitive skin. I have like an oily skin type, and I've had eczema since I was a child, so I just gotta really take it easy with a lot of my skincare stuff. So nothing too fancy. I really can't be putting like oils and fruits on my face. And also like, I decided to film in my bathroom because like I love those Vogue videos where these celebrities are just like sitting in their bathroom, going through their routine with you. I have some favorites. The one with AOC is like iconic. I watch that one all the time. I also really like Hilary Duff's. I don't think she's in like the bathroom for that one. And I don't even like her skincare tips. She's like putting herbivore oils on her face. And I'm like, I can't, like I don't really buy into facial oils. Okay, and then the next product we're gonna use is not vegan. It's because anything that's sold in China, at least skincare wise, needs to be tested on animals. And I just can't give this up. This is the Shiseido Ultimune serum. It's got anti-aging properties. I don't even think I like it because of the formula or what it does for my skin, because it uses like denatured alcohol. And like that's really not good for you apparently. The reason why I use it is because in my mind, like the essence of like Asian opulence is women who use Shiseido. Like, if I can channel any of that energy, I feel like that's like a measure of success. Like, if you use Shiseido, you've made it. You've made it. There are a lot of things Asian women care about that, in turn, I really put a lot of my value in. One of them being Shiseido. They're iconic. Like, I remember my mom had like Shiseido sunscreen in her bathroom that she just never touched. I feel like she bought it because it's Shiseido and to have it in her bathroom and feel opulent and just rich. Because this shit is overpriced. Apparently one of these sells every 7 seconds, and considering the price, I mean, like, Shiseido must be fucking killing it. Another thing Asian women really care about, that in turn I care about and put a lot of my value in, is rice cookers. Like, I think my mom literally used to like go to other people's houses and come back home talking about how nice their rice cookers were. So I'm gonna put this on my face. And I don't like using too much. This serum's supposed to be like a serum that complements other serums. Shiseido tries to sell it as like, oh, it helps you absorb your other serums better. Do I buy that? I mean, if I have to believe in the fantasy to feel this way, then I will, because this feeling, it's like, you wouldn't know how incredible the feeling of using Shiseido products is unless you used it. Anyways, yeah, I kind of buy the hype with this product. I don't use it every day though. Because I'm just trying to like conserve that. And the next product I'm gonna use is this calming serum from Beauty of Joseon. Again, I need something for my inflammation. The next product I'm going to use is the Hada Labo Milky Lotion. This is just a hyaluronic acid moisturizer that I like using. So I started being vegan when I was around like 15. It was just something that was like really helpful for me. Just to be able to control what I eat and enjoy like cooking. I would cook for a lot of other people. I used to have these like vegan tea parties in high school that were pretty lit. Like, we would drink tea, like no alcohol allowed, which makes me sound pretty lame, but trust me, like if you were there, they were lit. We would like honestly just sit around a table. I would make like 7 different pots of tea, because I love teapots. And we would make some vegan food. I started out making a lot of ramen, and just Japanese foods, Chinese foods, Vietnamese foods, things you could like easily find recipes for online. And me myself, I'm Mien American, which is just like a really small ethnic group. So there is not really resources for a lot of recipes online, or just like learning about the culture in general. It's kind of something you have to like be there to understand and get it. Next product I'm gonna be using is this like Rare Beauty primer. I'm not gonna do the makeup tutorial part of this video just quite yet. We're gonna cook before we do that. But I'm using this primer because I'm going to be using a cushion foundation by I'm Cosmetics right after this. I put way too much primer on my hands. But yeah, there's not really a lot of resources for like Mian recipes. So, especially vegan ones. A lot of the food I'm gonna cook today are really impromptu. I'm probably like the only person in the world making shit like this. Vibing, let's go. So the next product I'm gonna be using is this M Cosmetics Daydream Cushion Foundation in the shade Gentle Light. So a cushion foundation they're really popular in Asia. They're kind of like the sheerest foundation you can possibly use. And this one is infused with skincare benefits. So I really like never feel awful using it. Like I could use this. It won't feel like anything on my face. And I honestly like lay on pillows with this. It really just like sinks into the skin. It hasn't made me break out ever. And also, I kind of use this as like a form of color correction. Like if I'm doing drag or something, I'm gonna use this under my regular foundation. And it covers up a lot of the redness. I still will use like a green color corrector, but for the most part, this takes care of all the little tiny areas. And honestly, I'm not the type of person to like wear makeup in my everyday, except for this cushion foundation and maybe like curling my eyelashes. Rare Beauty has a good foundation that if I'm like really going somewhere, I'll put on. Then we're just gonna set this with the 3-in-1 Always an Optimist Rare Beauty setting spray, and let's get cooking. I struggled opening that. So the plan for this video is to make about 4 huge portions of foods I typically eat that are unique recipes. So like, let's go. We're in the kitchen now. The first thing I'm gonna be making is this tofu right here. I'm honestly just gonna be frying this up. All you're gonna need is some vegetable oil and a wok, and you're pretty set. I seasoned the tofu with like salt, pepper, and some 5-spice. So this is the oil that I set up earlier for the fried tofu. I left it on medium and then turned it to low. So we're just gonna remove it from the heat. And I'm gonna add the tofu. The tofu is getting to be about the consistency you want them. You want them to be a bit brownish, yellowish looking, and crispy. And these are starting to look that sexy. This tofu is ready to be plated, so I turned off the heat and have a plate over here that has paper towels on it to soak up the oils. So I'm gonna take it out and show you. And this is the final product. It looks so sexy. And the other simple thing I'm gonna be making today is these mustard greens. Honestly, all I'm gonna be doing is boiling these, adding some canola oil and MSG, and honestly, that's like one of my favorite foods. It's definitely a comfort food, which is weird to say about like vegetables, but high key, it really is. And one of the things I ate most growing up was my grandma's mustard greens, which she makes the exact same way. They honestly, it's probably one of my favorite things in the world to have a bowl of mustard greens in the water it was boiled in, along with some rice to make kind of like a soup. These mustard greens are about finished, so I'm gonna put them in a bowl. And this is it in its bowl. I honestly want to eat like right now. So this next recipe is actually like my favorite. The only thing we're gonna need is some green onion. And I cut that pretty long. You don't want to like finely minced. You don't want like finely cut green onion. We have some cilantro. And the most important part is this. So this is a mian paste called topse. It's a fermented soybean paste, and it goes really well with tomatoes. So I kind of just let them sit in this bowl together to kind of like get the tomato juices on it. And we're also gonna use just some garlic and onion and coconut milk. And all of these are gonna be used for a noodle dish that's stir-fried, kind of like pad thai, but it's gonna be a lot creamier and won't be fishy at all. So I'm gonna start this wok off with some wok oil, some onion, some garlic, and some of that topse with tomatoes. Something I forgot to mention is that I'll be adding this chili oil to it. And now it's time to add the noodles. Also, before you guys freak out, let's not forget that I'm filming a mukbang, so these portions are way bigger than they're supposed to be. Now I'm gonna add some green onion. And then I'm gonna add in some cilantro, and right after adding the cilantro and mixing it around, I'll plate the noodles. Here are the plated noodles. I used a bowl that was a little too small for it, just to emphasize how much noodles I made. So the next thing I'll be making is just lai sui with some Gardein beef. So I'll just be quickly making this. This is lai sui, which is like pickled mustard greens, and I got it from Kasoy & Company, which is like a Mian food cart in Gresham. And I'll be using Gardein beef because, I mean, I'm still American and vegan, so I've got to put something in there. And this is it after I plated it. I want to eat so bad right now. And the last thing I'll be making is sort of like a hot pot, like a soup variation of mapao tofu. I'll just be adding these tomatoes, tofu, chives, some of the broth from the mustard greens, garlic, ginger, and some fermented bean paste. So I'm gonna mix that around a bit, then leave it on the stove on low while I work on my makeup tutorial. And it's in my little Hamtaro hot pot, which I love to death. So we're moving into the makeup tutorial portion of this video, which is probably where I'm gonna talk more. I'm not sure if this is a good angle, but it's what I've got to work with. So I'm going to start off with the Rare Beauty foundation, which is weird for a drag queen to use, but I honestly just love this. It feels like nothing's on my face. Even when I'm putting like heavy concealers on top of it, it really honestly does not feel like much. But this is a water-based foundation, so you're gonna have to shake it. And I actually use 2 shades. So this shade right here I'm using is, this one's the 210 neutral, and this one's the 170 warm. So I'm using the warm shade to highlight and the neutral shade just for other places in my face, just for general coverage. And as for all the food I cooked, those are really just recipes that I kind of improvised and grew to like over time. I really don't know what's going on in my head. I used to follow recipes kind of to a T, but over time I've just realized that if I'm cooking anything that's like cultural for me, then it's really not gonna involve a recipe or ingredients that are really well known. And I'm not talking about garlic, I'm talking about the topse and the lai sui. If you're interested in making any of those recipes, there are some places in town, assuming that you live in Portland, that sell those. I know a good place is the Lily Market. They sell the Mama Star chili oil that I used. They sell topse, and as for lai sui, I get mine from Kasoy and Company, which is in Gresham. All right, and I'm taking this foundation brush and I'm spraying. I got this tip from Selena Gomez herself, so I trust it. You're gonna spray the Always an Optimist 3-in-1 priming spray onto the foundation brush and just tap in the foundation. This helps it wear longer, but also it gives it like a really dewy look. And yes, I'm a dewy drag queen because we're in quarantine right now, and I really don't have time to have some like really heavy duty coverage foundation and concealer just to sit at home. And I kind of developed all of those vegan recipes on my own, because those are foods that I typically wouldn't consider like other people liking, just because there's not really like a precedent for that. When you come from like a really small community, you're not really sure if people are gonna like your food, especially when you grew up getting like teased for it. So for me personally, it was kind of a journey to share my food, and not like food I cooked, but like my food with other people. And the next step for me in my makeup routine is concealers. So I'm using this 400 warm, which is a pretty intense color, but this is for my contour, and 190 warm, it's Rare Beauty brightening concealer, just to contour my face, brighten up under my eyes. I don't like using a lot of this color because it's a lot darker than I initially thought it would be. So I just add like a little dot, maybe like right here, and one right here. And I take the Rare Beauty concealer brush and kind of just use that one dot to really go under my cheekbone. And I actually don't really go up too far. Like, I'm not going towards my hairline. I just keep it here, and then I suck in my cheek typically and like follow this outline. It does give my face kind of like an older masculine look, but trust me, it's gonna work out in the end. I have really full cheeks, and this just really helped me carve out my cheek area. As for why I went vegan, I went vegan in high school because I had an eating disorder, and being vegan really just helped me learn to love food and love making food and just like be comfortable with what I was eating. Like, I wasn't eating small portions or anything because that's really not my style. I just didn't feel as bad eating so much being vegan. And I've obviously grown past that now. Like, I still don't use veganism as like my way to stop having an eating disorder. Like, I feel like I've grown enough to just like, even if I were to start eating animal products, like I would be fine with it. And I would be able to eat because I'm not always vegan. It's usually like a thing of convenience. If it's convenient for me to be vegan, and like I have the extra time, then I will. But if I'm really struggling to find food to eat, I will eat eggs. So a lot of the times I'm ovo-vegetarian, but I try my best to stay vegan. Another thing that I eat that's not vegan at times is if I'm making something like miso soup, I would use dried shiitake mushrooms as the broth to give it that umami flavor. But I've actually gone back to using dashi bonito flake broth just because I need to make it for my boyfriend, and you know, I love it with the mushroom, but I understand that other people aren't that way. So on the occasion I make miso soup, I will eat it with bonito flakes. It's not what I'd prefer, but it's a good compromise. So I'm about done subtly carving out my face right there. I really don't like doing... when I started doing drag, I loved heavy stage makeup. I had like Cow Cosmetics kits that I would use, but over time, I've liked like a more subtle look, kind of like a more feminine, like an actual person looks like this kind of look. Except when it comes to blush. I use so much blush, and you're about to see, but I'm going to go under my eyes and into areas where I want to highlight with this brightening concealer. But I've never really been one to force veganism on others, just because I come from a culture that's very much not vegan. Like, none of the food, which is why I had to improvise a lot of what I make now. Thankfully, topse, which is fermented soybean paste, is 100% vegan. I always suspected there was like fish in there, just because there tends to be a lot of fish sauce in like South Asian, like Thai kind of food, but thankfully there isn't, and it still has this like nice kind of fishy taste, which makes me so happy. And I forgot to kind of contour my chin a little. Honestly, looking at it right now, I do not need my chin contoured, but I'm thinking at the moment that it'll really complete my look at the end. Trust me, I'm just gonna go with the process and what my brain is telling me. And I'm not gonna, since I don't really feel like my chin needs to be contoured right now, I'm just doing it on the outer part of my chin to give me kind of like a really pointy chin, and really just like carve out my face. And since I'm doing more of like a pedestrian drag look today, I will coordinate with a more pedestrian drag outfit. It's just, we're indoors right now, so I really don't need to go extravagant or anything of the sort. And since I'm gonna be like doing a lighter look today, just like not as heavy makeup, I will not be baking, which is like a drag queen staple. It's really helpful when you're performing and going on stage and dancing and sweating. I currently am going to sit and eat a bunch of food, so I don't really feel like it's necessary. But next product I'll be using is this NARS bronzer, which is the trial size that I got for my birthday at Sephora. So trust me, the regular, if you actually buy this, it's a lot bigger. I'm using the Tarte Cream Blush Brush because it kind of lets me be more careful about where I place this bronzer. I already started off using too much, but we'll just blend it out. We'll see how this goes. So I'm not gonna, drag queens typically and used to, I think techniques have changed. Everyone does drag differently. They used to like do a 3 on their face. I really don't like carving out this area, just because my ears are already usually hidden, so I don't want to bring attention to them. They're really far back there. And I'm just gonna like blend this out with a fluffy brush. Sometimes I'd get like a credit card or something out to give myself a really harsh line, but we're going for like a really blended look today. Again, pedestrian. That's kind of the aesthetic right now during COVID times. I am noticing that this bronzer is kind of bringing out my texture more, but we're just gonna go with it. Part of why I use Rare Beauty products as a drag queen is because I don't really mind texture. Honestly, as someone who's had pretty bad skin throughout their whole life, being able to wear makeup but not have it cover all of my flaws has really helped me just like appreciate the skin I'm in. That's kind of that's where I am in life right now. Like, let's just grow comfortable, especially during quarantine where we're all like gaining weight. We're not really looking our best. And if we are looking our best, like for what? Why? Like why? So I'm kind of just am growing to like the skin I'm in. And this, I think, is about as blended as I want the bronzer. I will be adding foundation around this area just to kind of give myself more of a crease, but since it's foundation and not concealer, it wouldn't be like too much of a crease. Like, I still want some of it to kind of just look like my natural cheekbone, like just lift it up a little. So I'm going in with my foundation in 210 Neutral just to kind of cover this area. And we have it, it's defined. And also because it's a pedestrian look, I am not going to be covering my eyebrows. I honestly should have plucked them, but we're just gonna kind of go with my like really bushy brows I have right now and try to make something out of it. So the next step I'm going to take is using some blush. So I have a lot of blush options. I've been saying I'm doing a more pedestrian look, so I'm kind of contemplating these Rare Beauty liquid blushes. I have a couple colors. I also have some blushes from Kimchi Chic, but I'm settling on this cream blush by Rare Beauty, which is in the color Apricot. These blushes they're really buildable, so you can go really sheer with them and have a really simple look. But I've never built it up to something extreme, because if I want that, I typically go for the liquid blush. The liquid blushes are really pigmented, and I really don't want to film me messing anything up on this tutorial, or just this get ready with me. So I'm just gonna use the cream blush with my little fingertip right here, tap it in, and build. And if I make a mistake, it wouldn't matter too much because this product's really easy to work with. And I kind of want to go a little bit above my contour. I messed up a little and put it like right on my contour, but that still can lead to something. And I'm going a little bit above my contour. It's fine. I have another blush that I use as a bronzer towards the end. And I'm also going kind of up and just above the edge of my eyebrow right here. And I think I'm gonna do about a little bit more in that area. And using blush up here typically like lifts the face. I also do a little bit right here on my cheek area, just towards the front of my face, but I don't want to do too much, just because I really want a lifted face for this look. I don't really force any kind of veganism on anybody else, or kind of like any of my ideology, honestly, unless it pertains to like something really political. Like, yeah, I'm kind of gonna call people out if they don't believe in like human rights for other people, or they exacerbate it in some kind of ignorant way. I'm really not here for that. So if someone's like doing cultural appropriation, I'm gonna smack them. That's the tea. So I've had a lot of friends try to hang out with me and be friends just because they like anime and assume I do. I'm not really big on anime, except for Hamtaro. I could watch that all day. All right, I used a bit more on my left side than my right side, but I can just add some over here because that's the magic of this blush, I'm telling you. So I use this blush as kind of a second bronzer. It's the Faded Clementine M Cosmetics blush. I swear by this. And I honestly thought I invented using this product as a blush, but I watched someone else use it as a blush, and honestly, I felt like I was a fraud. Like, I felt so unique. Then I watched that and realized that a lot of people are doing that. But I'm going to be using this Shiseido face brush to apply it. It's kind of somewhere in the middle between precise and kind of like covering a bunch of areas. It has this like weird shape where some of it's angled, so I could use those angles to like really get the areas I want, but I'm just gonna generally do kind of below where I placed my blush. And I'm kind of seeing this weird shape with my blush that reminds me of, this is gonna sound weird, but like the energy swords from Halo. I haven't played Halo in years, not since I was a kid, but something about this reminds me. It's like this weird like sickle shape. All right. And this is about it for my complexion products. So I'll be using my eyes next, and this is technically a complexion product. Honestly, it's really versatile, as all white concealers are. So I have this like pure white Kimchi Chic concealer that I'll be using, and I'm just gonna be using it on my nose. I'm gonna dab a little bit, maybe on my chin, like just the tiniest bit, and I'm gonna use some under my eyes, kind of where, as like an eyeshadow primer. I'm also torn between using my like circle light mirror right here and using this camera, so forgive me if I'm like not staring into this camera at all times. And it does give my like under eye area this really good gradient that honestly I don't do this unless I'm doing drag because it looks pretty extreme, at least in my head. But looking at it now, this actually looks gorgeous, and I don't think it's too extreme at all. And I can't stress this enough. This look is so pedestrian for drag. I'm kind of embarrassed to even like call it drag, but it is what it is. Like, I like pedestrian, cute looking makeup. It's very simple. So I'll be using this Rare Beauty liquid eyeshadow in the color, I think this is Nearly Rose. And I'll just be using it above here. I really don't feel the need to like prime my eyes for a liquid eyeshadow, especially in liquid eyeshadow that I'm gonna be using as like a base. So I'm not gonna be priming my eyes today. Sorry, Urban Decay. The only Urban Decay product I own is their eye primer, and that's because I have it as a trial size. And so since I did not pluck my eyebrows, I do not have a lot of lid space today, which is fine. I'm not gonna lie to people about my eye situation. I have monolid eyes, so it's kind of really, I wouldn't say it's hard doing makeup on monolid eyes. I will just say that it's really something that other people, when they're like doing makeup tutorials and telling you how to do makeup, a lot of things they tell you will not work for your eye shape. And if you watch people like Nikki Tutorials, which, you know, I'm not shading Nikki Tutorials, I love her. She's kind of iconic. She also has really small eyes, and sometimes she'll say things like, wow, just because my eyes are like really shitty, like I have really bad eyes, like God did not bless me with good eyes. I'm like, girl, you have small eyes. Just because you can't do makeup the way other people can doesn't mean you have shitty eyes. I think it's really important because Asian people get a lot of shit for their eyes. I knocked a lot of stuff over. Asian people get a lot of shit for their eyes, even though there was that fox eye trend going on where people were trying to emulate Asian eyes. We're not going to talk about that, but there's things like double eyelid surgery, which, you know, I mean, that started when a US doctor went overseas and wanted to make prostitutes more appealing to US soldiers, so he kind of invented the double eyelid surgery, and now people are obsessed with it over in places like Korea. And I just can't imagine doing that to my eyelids. I would feel like an entirely different person. And honestly, I'm not gonna dwell on my eyes. I'm not gonna call them shitty or like a curse or like something that I think is undesirable, because I personally have grown to love doing makeup on my eyes because other people aren't telling me what to do. Uniform eyeshadow eyeshadow trends in the US, they really do not revolve around having monolid eyelids. So it really helps me explore makeup more. It helps me follow more people who look like me, where I can like emulate how they look instead of emulating how someone who I can't even like attain any kind of their kind of beauty on my canvas. So it's actually really helped me over time grow to, again, appreciate the skin I'm in, which is that's really like Rare Beauty's tagline, which first off, I love Selena Gomez. I'm like wearing a Selena Gomez shirt right now. I love her makeup. I love her music. And by the way, all the cooking I did today is a lot of it is inspired by watching Selena Plus Chef, which is Selena Gomez's HBO show, where she just cooks with some famous chefs. And I have not used any recipes from there because they're typically not vegan. The only one I did make was like this French chef came on to show Selena how to make omelets. And after that, I was like, I'm making my boyfriend the omelets in the fridge. I'm making my boyfriend the eggs in the fridge into like an omelet that's like a chef's recipe, and it turned out really good. I just took like a little bite of it. I didn't make it like 100% correct. Mine were like a little runny. And that was just something I couldn't fix. Okay. So we have this going on. The next part, which is the hardest part for me, so I won't even be looking at this camera at all. Like, I'm already struggling looking at the camera because the ring light just helps me a lot more. I will not look at you at all while I'm doing this. The eye look I'm going for right now is kind of just like a cat eye. Because Taylor Swift loves cat eyes, so I love cat eyes. So I did a lot better job than I typically do. In just one swipe. I'm using the Rare Beauty eyeliner pencil, and let me tell you, this makes doing my eyes so much easier. One of the things I do not like about my eyes doing makeup is the eyeliner process, just because it's really easy to mess it up. But this is fast drying. There's really like no transfer to my upper lid. I love this product. And just because I'm doing drag, I like to kind of like take my eyeliner pencil and go like underneath my eye a little. Not like, I'm not doing like raccoon eyes, but I like to kind of like do a line and leave space to put in like some eyeshadow. And that'll either be like a red or like a blue, but typically just some like white eyeshadow. We'll see if I do that today. So I kind of just like did that with like three little eyelashes. They're like the tiniest little eyelashes. It looks kind of crazy right now, but I don't know what comes after the butt. It's probably just gonna look crazy throughout. Also, I've got to do it on the other eye, and I'm really bad at matching my eyes, so we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Okay, you know what? Could have been worse. I think this looks fine. We're gonna move on. And this side, honestly, we're gonna call it a day. I'm gonna make something work out of this. I'm not gonna do any more takes of this because I have some food to eat. I'm thinking the look for this is gonna be blue eyeshadow underneath my eye. It will look kind of Egyptian, which I'm not planning on cultural appropriation today. It's just kind of, I did this shape. It ended up looking kind of Egyptian, honestly. And blue looks like a good color with it. That's just how the course of events went today. I'm sorry to any Egyptian people who think I'm culturally appropriating right now, because that was never my intention. So for under my eyes, I hope there's no fallout. There probably will be fallout, and if there is fallout, I apologize. I just usually do my face first, and I don't bake. So if there's fallout, and we're just gonna have to deal with it. I'm using my Kimchi X Ketnips palette today, and I will be using the color Blueberry, which is right here. So I kind of got into drag the same way anyone my age will get into drag, like RuPaul's Drag Race. Honestly, I don't know anyone who gets into drag after like 2012 and does not attribute any of it to Drag Race. I know there's drag queens who don't like the show because there are a lot of issues with it. But at the end of the day, if you love drag entertainers, you love the entertainers on that show. And no matter the politics of... And this is the one eye. Everything's going smoothly. I honestly might not even add anything to the top. I keep moving stuff. I might not even add anything to the top because the drama is going to be coming from right here, under my eye. So I might not even need to worry about the lid space I have up here and using it, because I can just honestly keep this like pink color, maybe add like a little bit in the corners and call it a day. Good news, no fallout. The next step in this process for me is using the Shiseido Casual in white. And I'm gonna be doing like, kind of like the corner right here under my eye. And we're kind of, you'll see. I don't even know what I'm doing, so you'll see. And that's the look, I guess. That's what we're doing today. Clown inspired. Well, it kind of ended up looking clownish. I didn't intend for that when that wasn't what I was seeking today. I know I said pedestrian. I mean, if this is my version of pedestrian, I guess you're lucky that I kind of chose to look pedestrian today. So I've kind of, looking at my look now, I kind of thought of the perfect thing for it. I'll be using this Pearls Gone Wild highlighter by Kimchi Chic to kind of add a little bit like of a tear going down my face, which I feel is something that's not really on trend right now. I feel like that time in our lives has passed, but it's what I'm doing today. And I'll be using this kind of like angled eyeshadow brush. I really want to chug jug with you. We can be pro Fortnite gamers. Take me to... I don't really know the lyrics to TikTok songs, but I have them in my head constantly. Is this the look? I mean, it'll look better in lighting, trust me. It looks good in my ring light, if that means anything. I'm gonna go add some more highlights to this. This is my Drama Queen Kimchi palette. And I like to just add, if I'm using a blue, I'll add the blue highlights from here. And if I'm adding a pink, I like to use the pink highlights from here. It just really helps the eyeshadow pop, if that's what you're intending it to do, if that's what you want your eyeshadow to do. I have two options for toppers. I have a Sugar Pill Twin Stars collection, but I also have these like halo toppers from Kimchi Chic that I think will be perfect for this look, because I already used so much glitter. There's no going back from this. There's just, I mean, if I'm gonna use glitter, then I'm gonna use glitter. That's just kind of what's gonna happen. So there was some fallout with these toppers. I was being a little sloppy. Well, that's because I'm hungry and I just want to get that food in my stomach right now. The last thing I'll do for my eyes, I'm not gonna put on lashes today because I'm gonna be wearing glasses. I think I'm gonna darken out the corners up here. I'm just gonna take a smudge brush, I'm using the Rare Beauty Magnetic Spirit eyeshadow palette, and I'll be using the color Rounded, which is right here. And I'm just gonna blend that out a little. Just a little. I actually really like the gradient. Like, I don't think they're too drastically different, so I will just like bring it down just the tiniest bit, but not too much. And the eyeshadow look, it's good for today. Let's just call it a day. So for my eyebrows, I'm just gonna quickly do my eyebrows. There's honestly not much to it. I kind of am more of a person to just like define their brows by... I'm more of a person who defines their brows than like carves out a new brow, you know? I'm just gonna take this spoolie and I'm gonna spray some of this Stage Proof Kimchi setting spray on it. Just because I don't really have like alcohol, like rubbing alcohol laying around to clean up my eyes a bit. So I'm just gonna be brushing upwards. And then I'm gonna use the Rare Beauty Brow Harmony pencil, and I'm going to use the side, this side with the eye gel. It's like a really, you would think that they wouldn't make this so pigmented, but it is. It's like a really dark black color. So I don't mind too much, but I do need a spoolie on the side to fix any mistakes, because I have to be really precise with this if I'm going to use it, which I do every day, and I am not a very precise person, as you can see from my cooking. And this eye pencil is like to its end. Like I am just rubbing nothing on my eyebrows. So I'm gonna do a quick little rub to get the tiniest bit of it out. Which is a shame because I actually really love this eyebrow pencil. And I will have to go back to using this Onyx eyeliner, which I haven't used in forever, by Cow. This is even sharpened, so I am not putting my best foot forward with these brows. That looks fine. If it's fine, I'll take it. Again, I don't really care. I'm just the type of person to define my brows, make them even bushier. I just don't have a lot of hairs towards the end of my brows, so that's usually where I need to fill out. I kind of, whenever I do my eyebrows, I think I look like Kazuya from Tekken. Again, a nerdy reference that nobody will probably get, but that's kind of what I feel like I look like. And honestly, my brows, because I have not plucked them, they look a lot better when they're plucked, but right now they kind of look like this like half circle shape, this like semicircle. So we're gonna, yikes, we're gonna call it a day. Maybe I should carve it out with some, I don't like doing concealer under my eyebrows, honestly, so bushy brows, I guess, is what we're going for today. Whatever. It's bold. It's, to people with bushy eyebrows, you're beautiful. I guess that's the vibe today. And the final thing I'm doing are my lips. This is gonna be tricky because I'm literally going to eat right after this. So I'm going to be using my M Cosmetics lip pencil. And I'm just gonna go under my lip right here. And just right here in the front. I'm not gonna really overdraw my lips because I don't want that much lipstick in the food I'm gonna ingest. So, and I'm gonna go in the corners of my mouth just because I usually don't put lipstick there. It doesn't end up good for me. So it's really helpful to just use some liner there to get some color. And I kind of like smudge out the corners just because I don't want like a really defined lip. I kind of want it to be ambiguous. where it ends. I'm having trouble finding a lipstick that I want to use. I'm having trouble finding a lipstick I want to use for the mukbang because I don't think liquid's a good idea today. And I don't really have a lot of bullet lipsticks, but I have two of them that are in brown. Brown doesn't really seem like the color today, but I'm thinking if I use the brown kind of in the middle, I'm thinking of using the brown kind of like in the center of my lips right here. And then going over all of this with a colored lip balm. Then I'm thinking that's kind of the move for today. And I'll go over with lip liner where I need to. But these Rare Beauty tinted lip balms are so pigmented that it's insane. If I use this as a lip balm, I'm literally just like dotting it on my lip because the color is so strong. And I'm kind of just gonna use it to diffuse some of the color out here, not just make it a straight up brown, and we'll see how that goes. And if I mess up, then I'm just gonna do something entirely different with my lips. Well, I guess I did something. Honestly, lips don't matter. We're gonna be doing a mukbang. And then I'm gonna highlight and we're gonna call it a day. So I'm using these Rare Beauty liquid highlights. I have the colors Enlighten and Enchant. So I'm gonna be using Enchant for my cheek area right here, and elsewhere is where I'm gonna be using the Enlighten. I used too much, oh my god. I used so much. I used so much, guys. You know, we don't have to be perfect with makeup application. I used too much on my chin. Okay. And this is about to be the completed look. It's something. I mean, it's something. And you know, I actually am a big fan of false lashes and think it completes a look. I really do. If I'm not wearing false lashes, I don't feel like I'm in drag. I don't have my nails done either. Look, I really just kind of decided to make drag a part of this video today. And I didn't really think too hard about it. But this is just very everyday drag for when you just impromptu want to do drag, I guess. Which, you know, for me is all the time. Okay. So this is the final look.
I'm a cool pro Fortnite gamer. Cool pro Fortnite. Take me to your Xbox to play Fortnite today. You can take me Moisty Mire, but not Loot Lake. I really love to chug jug with you. We can be pro Fortnite gamers.
Hello. You've arrived at the mukbang portion of this video. I will talk while eating, and we're just gonna go. So I have like a wide array of food in front of me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this giant bowl of noodles, all of this, and I'm just gonna start munching on this. So I love this recipe that I don't think I invented it. I feel like I've seen things like this. It's very similar to like some things I've seen. And food I've had. If you want to elevate this, maybe find some like protein to put in here. Well, probably really good. Maybe like even another vegetable or something. I honestly, should have like worn a ponytail because I might get hair in my mouth, and not even like real hair, like synthetic hair. So I feel like we're good now. Yeah, I love these noodles. Honestly, I want to make these for like all of my friends. So if you're a friend out there watching, like, you're having these noodles one day. And so this is where I'm gonna like start actually like talking a lot. I know I said that during the makeup tutorial, but like honestly, there's nothing stressful about eating. Honestly, these mukbang people, I feel like are making a killing. Like they're literally just eating on camera. Huh? Like I wish I could do that for a living. Honestly, I hope this video blows up because it's kind of like my lifelong dream to just do something not stressful and make money off of it. But this video is in response to Qiqi Ma in my writing 122 class. And her, you know, she wrote an essay that was about like vegetarianism and like why do some people think everyone should be vegetarian? Do I think everyone should be vegetarian? I don't know, it'd be cool, but I know even within my own family, there's so much like cultural meaning behind eating meat. There's, you know, famines, people really like the things they eat for a reason. There's like history to it, just regional stuff. I know in the US we frown upon eating meats that aren't like the typical meats, but honestly, people just have consistently just been like in survival mode, so. I like don't really blame them. One of the makeup products I used tastes awful. I don't really know what it is, but you know what? I'm stupid. I'm making some bitter nail tea right here, also known as pudding tea, and that shit's so bitter that I thought it was like alcohol from like me using like a makeup product. It actually is just a bitter tea, and I like to tell people I like the taste of it. That's true, but I'm not sure if I can have it in like ground up on my finger form. At some point, if I get uncomfortable enough, you might see me like take off my wig and eat wigless. That's a total possibility. Especially if I start sweating. Like, I love this wig, okay? I'm not gonna like damage it over a mukbang video. It keeps getting in my hair. I should honestly get a scrunchie, which I'm gonna do right now. You know what? It looks like I'm not even wearing a fucking wig right now. It looks like I'm not even wearing a wig right now. What's happening? Trust me, I've got like my ponytail right here, so I'm definitely wearing a wig. Wow. Okay, let me kind of do more of this. There we go. Now it looks more like I'm wearing a wig. I look like a librarian. I kind of love it. So yeah, I don't really think everyone should be vegetarian. Ideally, it'd be best for like our health, but after being vegetarian for a while, I started reading up some things on Buddhism, which, trust me, I'm not doing like heavy research on Buddhism, but there are some principles in there pertaining to like vegetarianism that I really appreciate. Just because my favorite place in town is Von Han Vegetarian on 82nd and Division. I love that place, and they're run by Buddhist monks. It's all vegan. And I think like a Buddhist principle, and honestly like any religion, honestly, there's this idea that like people like priests or monks, they're not better people than you. They're just like a lot more disciplined. I think like a good example of this is like this is like really chewy tofu. A good example of this is like in The Sound of Music, how the nuns kind of like know that Maria just doesn't have what it takes to be a nun. Like they're not looking down on Maria. They just realize that Maria is like human. Like we're all human, and if you can't commit to something like veganism, even if that's like your ideal, like if your ideal is to be completely vegan in everything you do, then, you know, there's probably going to be times where you don't live up to that fully, and you're just going to accept it. And if you can live up to it fully, then like, damn, good on you. But I feel like if anybody lived up to it fully and was living like an enriching life, they wouldn't be looking down on other people for not being vegan, you know? There's also like a term coined pretty recently. I don't really know when it like started, but the term white veganism, which honestly, I say honestly a lot. That's like one of my things I do when I talk. It seems to be that anytime there's like a version of some progressive ideology that like is pretty cool, if you want to talk about the people who are doing it wrong, you usually just put white as the prefix, typically because it applies to maybe white people, typically, just like not really seeing the whole issue and like focusing on themselves and people like them. And I definitely see that with white veganism. I've known people who are like forcing other people to go vegan when it just doesn't really align with their culture. Like my mom does not understand the concept of me being vegan. She doesn't understand like why, how, or like, you know, I'm this disciplined, am I getting all my nutrients or whatever. I mean, there's other things she doesn't understand, like this, but I definitely understand how people who grow up in cultures like that and love their traditional foods, like why they wouldn't want to go vegan. And honestly, like, a big part of white veganism for me that I don't really appreciate is the fact that we have so many forms of exploitation of like people, like actual people who are like actual slaves or work in sweatshops and make everything we have. So I don't know. If you're consuming under capitalism, I don't understand why veganism is like the go-to number one thing you need to do in your life to be a good person. Like the term cruelty-free should probably apply to more than just animals weren't harmed in the making of this product. I'm like trying to tread the line between like gross mukbang eating or like mukbang eating and realizing that this is actually a video for class, so I should probably like bring it back a bit with like swearing and gross eating. So anyways, yeah, I'm vegan. It's not really like a big part of my life. I think it used to be. I used to tell people I was vegan like all the time, like literally all the time. I remember there was this one time where my little brother, like, we got coupons in the mail for Carl's Jr. And my little brother wanted some, so I walked to Carl's Jr. to buy him some. And when I got to the counter, there was like someone from school working there, and I like looked at this guy and I was like, this isn't for me. This is for my little brother. I'm vegan. Like, I made it apparent. I don't know, maybe I was embarrassed buying fast food or something, but I let that guy know at the cash register of Carl's Jr. how vegan I was. And I'm sure it came off as really like awkward and I don't want to say obnoxious, because it probably wasn't obnoxious, but it was definitely like weird. I don't know how edited I want this mukbang to be, but I honestly might add like an unedited mukbang video. And I keep changing my pronunciation of mukbang, probably because I'm not Korean, so I wouldn't know. I'm like struggling if the camera's too far from me, you know? But actually, I don't know. I feel like people in mukbang videos like showing off the food they're eating. And I don't want to be too uncomfortably close because first off, then you guys will like criticize my makeup. Not about that life. I like to look pretty from afar. Let me tell you, if you're frying tofu at home and you're not adding 5-spice, I think you're wrong. Like, tofu without 5-spice fried makes no sense to me. I hate it. Also, I think there's like this misconception about like what tofu is in the West. And I think people think tofu is like some kind of meat replacement that's like packed with protein, and that's just incorrect. Tofu is, it's more like a cheese. People say its flavor isn't strong and it absorbs the flavor around it. It really depends what kind of tofu you're using. There's some like porous tofus, like firm tofu, which could do that. I've never like marinated my tofu ever, just because I actually like the kind of like light flavor of it, how like it's kind of bland. It complements a lot of things. I actually like using like soft tofu a lot. I don't know. I don't know why there's this misconception that tofu is like a meat replacement. There, you can use other things like seitan really if you wanted to do that, or just go buy like some vegan sausages or vegan chorizo is so good. Oh my god, I could eat so much vegan chorizo. You know, I kind of overestimated how much I could eat. I didn't even like research if people usually like prepare their stomachs for these mukbang videos. I know that competitive eaters have like a diet of like cabbage and like boiled cabbage, and just they drink a lot of water to like expand their stomach. I thought I could eat a lot, but I'm actually struggling right now, and I haven't really eaten much today in preparation for this. I've heard that it's actually kind of bad to do that. Like people who like save their appetite for Thanksgiving dinner and don't eat all day, like I've heard that that's actually like doesn't work. So I'm gonna put these noodles away, because if there's one thing I can save today and have it for tomorrow that's gonna be like really good, it's gonna be the noodles. And I'm gonna have some rice. Some rice with my lai sui and Gardein beef, which I like to think that I actually invented that. Like, I don't know who else is out here using their Gardein ground beef with some obscure culture's pickled mustard greens, but we're out here. I mean, if you at home really want to make a mian recipe that's actually not mian and actually the sole creation of me right here, then you can go ahead and do so. Just go to Kasoy and Company, Gresham Food Cart, look it up, and buy their lai sui and follow my recipe. It's not much of a recipe. It's just like soy sauce and aji mirin with Gardein beef, some vegetable oil, lai sui, and just like MSG. Just like put that all together. You know, it's actually too sweet. I put too much mirin in there. I really didn't expect it to hit that hard, but it really did hit that hard. I guess it's fine because nothing else I'm having today is really sweet, but this really hits different. You know that like BuzzFeed video where they're like testing sweet potato pies and that one grandma's like, where's the flavor? I actually feel the opposite about this. There's too much flavor, and if I just didn't use as much mirin in there, it would have been fine. Actually, if I didn't use mirin at all, I don't know. I felt like I wanted some sweet in there just so I can get all of the flavors. I was incorrect. Do not make this sweet. Follow my recipe, but don't put the mirin in there because there's already sweetness from the soy sauce that I used. I used like some pretty sweet soy sauce. This might hit different tomorrow if I heat it up, but I just think that I don't want to eat a lot today, which is weird because I'm filming a mukbang. So I'm going to put that aside for now, and we're going to move on to something that I know I love. Which is these like boiled mustard greens. And I'm just going to eat some of these boiled mustard greens. I've also let all of this food sit for like an hour and a half while I was filming the makeup tutorial portion of this video. So It's all kind of sad and cold. I didn't really think this through, but this video is due tomorrow. So we're just gonna go with it. And you know, that kind of really defines my my approach to eating food. I don't even want to call it veganism because it really like is not veganism a lot of the time. It's like ovo-vegetarianism. Just because if there's egg in something, especially because I've learned like more traditional egg recipes, I've been like making those. What was I saying? Anyways, I kind of just improvise a lot of the things I do, which you can kind of tell with these recipes. Like, I made it sound like I make all of this food all of the time, which I do for the noodles and the boiled mustard greens and the tofu, but the other two things I've never made in my life. Am I full? I might be full. But I can't even touch what's in that clay pot. Something about being in drag does not make me hungry. Maybe it's the makeup, maybe it's the hair. It's probably good that I'm not hungry while I'm in drag because like if I'm performing, I don't know what I'm doing these head shakes for. If I'm performing, I just don't want to eat a lot, especially when I'm wearing a corset. You're lucky I'm not wearing a corset today. If I was wearing a corset today, I'm pretty sure I couldn't even put food in myself. Is this the end of the video? I kind of don't want it to end like this. You know, I'm a fighter, and you're going to go on this journey with me where I'm going to try to eat a lot more food than I want to eat right now. Okay, you know what? We're going to have to at least see what's in this clay pot. I can't pick it up because it's really hot still. But okay, here's my clay pot. It's like a little hamtaro pot. I really don't want to tilt it. That's a terrible idea that I should never do again in my life. Yep, here's like my little clay pot. I'm gonna swirl it around, take a taste. I made all of this food, and I guess I just have leftovers tomorrow. Bro, where did I put my spoon? Oh, my spoon's over here. Oh, it's gonna be so sickly sweet. Okay, here's the moment of truth. Is this soup good? I could eat this whole bowl of soup, actually. I'm really hyping up this soup. I intentionally made this soup not too flavorful. I actually made a lot of the things here not too flavorful today on purpose. Like the tofu, the fried tofu, it's just fried tofu with 5 spice in it. It's like, okay. These boiled mustard greens, if this was my sole thing I was eating, which, you know, a lot of times I'll do that for like dinner, I would use a lot more MSG than I did. But I wanted to keep it light just because I assumed everything else would be so flavorful. By that I mean the noodles and the lai sui. So, you know, it did what it had to. But this soup, is like so good. It's so good. There's like sourness, bitterness, just like this general warm feeling. And there's like enough salt in there to not make it like, to not be overwhelming, but to like give it a palatability that, you know, I can eat this forever and ever. You know, this was just me eating like a whole pot of soup. I think I could do it. This is just so wild to me because I can eat so much more food than this typically. Like if you take me to a buffet, I'm hitting it up. I just can't eat. I think it's the drag. I am never filming a mukbang and drag again unless people really want me to. They're gonna have to do the cooking or ordering the food because I spent so much time making this food. I can't imagine, here's the thing, I can't imagine cooking in drag. That sounds, because I'm gonna be around heat, I hate that. That sounds like a terrible idea. But also, I need to cook the food, and then do my makeup and get in drag, and then come out and eat it again. Like, how am I gonna do that without the food getting cold? You know, I really did not think this through. But that's the fun of going on a journey with me. This video honestly was just me. It was just me doing what I love to do, which is improv. Is this video about veganism? Yeah, it is. It started off being about that. Also just me telling you about my day. You know, I feel accomplished. And I think part of feeling accomplished for me today is using Shiseido products. Like if I use something from Shiseido, it sticks in my mind right here in my head. All day, in the back of my head, I realized like, oh, I used the Shiseido face brush and the white casual ink, and I used the Ultimune serum. Just like all of those things make me feel like I've done it. I've conquered the world today. And those things aren't vegan. So that's what, you know, that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about, I'm very much a Maria, okay? I'm not one of those nuns who can devote their life to God or whatever. I'm very much a Maria. I'm human. I try, but I just can't be completely vegan. I used to really care when I was like, I would say the ages 15 through 18 when I was in high school. And after high school, for myself, veganism did not matter too much, honestly. It didn't. It was something I like considered myself, just because I was like mostly vegan, so like, why not say I'm vegan? Like, am I just gonna tell people like, oh yeah, well, I'm not vegan, but I eat mostly vegan on most days, but like, maybe like once a month I'll accidentally eat like a muffin. Like, huh? No. I would tell people I'm vegan because that really helps me and them. Because it'll help me eat the foods that like make me feel best. And it also would like help them know not to give me like animal products in my food. But once I really started caring about things like skincare as well, is when my veganism kind of went out the door. Just because food is food. Like, if your food is made unethically, like a good example is it's like berries. Um, you know, like Driscoll's raspberries are picked from like underpaid migrant workers, and it's just insane. Um, like the conditions that those berries were picked under, but also you can't really like chastise someone for eating food that they like just bought at the store without like knowing. Um, just because food is food, like if the food you eat comes from exploited labor, you maybe if you have like the time and the funds to like stop buying those foods and like finding alternatives, then like good for you. But I don't think people should have to like starve, especially because the foods that are made under such like terrible conditions typically are like cheaper foods. Like, you know, if you're rich enough to like have this cruelty-free lifestyle where everything you do is like not influenced, like has no iffy terrible conditions involved, like good for you. But meanwhile, the rest of us are just out here trying to eat and like survive. You know, I said I could eat this whole bowl of soup. I'm in drag. I think I can't. I hate eating like in this condition. Okay, so I really like could not eat as much food as I thought. Maybe I'll film a mukbang some other day for the people who want it. There's probably like all my friends where I'm not in drag and I actually eat all the food, so you can eat along with me. It'll be fun, trust me. And I'm probably gonna make less food, but for now, this is like all I can eat, so. So look in the description of this video. I'll be supplying all of my ingredients that I use, all of my skincare that I used, and I'll tell you if they're vegan or not. I didn't want my mukbang to end up like this. I can't eat all this food, so goodbye. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna make some tea. I'm gonna make some tea and we're gonna drink some tea together. Hi, so I'm making tea because I really didn't want to end the video like that. Just me throwing in the towel, kind of. I wanted to show you another aspect of my life that means really like just a lot to me. And that's just drinking tea. Right now I'm making Taiwan Yin, which is a Chinese oolong. Well, it's like a Taiwanese oolong. It's whatever. I can't remember off the top of my head. But right now I'm just making the first. I'm waking up the tea leaves because you're supposed to like pour out your first infusion to wake up the leaves. And this is part of like a gong fu ceremony. This is just how I prefer to drink tea. I really like that you just keep on re-steeping the tea. This is my little tea pet right here. His name is Kuma. I love him. I've been watching a lot of We Bare Bears recently, so bears have been kind of like on my mind. So yeah, this is Taiwan yin. It's unroasted. I kind of prefer it when it's roasted. We're just making some tea right now because this is a really important part of my diet. I consist off of tea. Like, without tea, I don't even know who I am. Not that I like rely on it chemically, just because I'm not drinking tea every day. But when I do drink tea, it's just like this transformative experience. I don't mean like herbal tisane teas or whatever. I mean like drinking typically oolongs. Oolongs really, they complete me. So I'm gonna drink tea for a bit. Talk to you about just what's going on. It's really hot. Oof. Yeah. Maybe this is the end of the video. I think it's the end of the video. Anyways, well. Anyways, goodbye. How anticlimactic. I got all ready for this. I guess it was about the journey and not the destination today. Anyways, if you want to go vegan, go vegan. If you don't want to go vegan, but you're thinking about it, here's my thing. Do not be strict. Do not, and by that I mean don't like feel like a bad person when you're breaking any kind of vegan moral code. I feel like there's like this weird Puritan attitude around veganism where if you aren't doing it 100% correctly and like how it's supposed to be done, then you're like not doing it right and you don't even deserve to be called a vegan. Just because I know there are vegans who get mad at like vegetarians, like, oh, vegetarians don't even commit, how dare they? Girl, find some other problems to have. Jeez. There are so many things to be upset about in the world. Like, oh, this tea's so good. Good vibes. If I seem burnt out, for those of you watching who know me, if I seem burnt out, part of it's quarantine, part of it's the end of the term. It's really stressful. There's a lot going on. I gotta be in drag, which honestly, I'm always happy when I'm in drag, so it really just like helps me. I look really pretty, at least from what I'm seeing in this camera, so good for me. I didn't look like a hot mess today. Because there's definitely, especially if I'm doing drag like alone for no one, just to like, I don't know, try out like a new technique. I usually look pretty busted just because I'm experimenting, like that's so fun. I really just toned it down today for this video and it turned out, at least I think, well. I'm wearing this Taylor Swift dress that I bought off her store. Yeah, I've got nothing. I don't know. It's really late at night. So I'm gonna say peace out. I'm gonna bring up some friends. This is my Hamtaro. I really love him. I just thought I would show you before I end this video. Goodbye.
Royale, yeah, Fortnite, we bout to get down. 10 kills on the board right now, just wiped out Tomato Town. My friend just gone down, I revived him, now we're heading southbound. Now we're in the Pleasant Park streets, look at the map, go to the marked sheet. Take me to your